So, I recently asked a question on my community page. If you paid $800 for a pair of wireless headphones that came with a cable to charge them but no charger, would you be upset or frustrated? Last time that I checked the poll, 985 of you fine folks voted and 63% said yup. So yeah. That's how we are starting the review of the Focal Bathys. I'm gonna call them Bathys just to see how many people I can annoy. Headphones.com recently reached out to me and asked if I want to check these headphones out, and that was an easy yes. I have heard some Focal headphones at shows, and I like them a lot. And I was curious what Focal, being a high-end hi-fi manufacturer, would bring to the table for folks who are on the go and need noise-canceling headphones. All of the links to headphones.com are down below, but it's important to note they aren't sponsoring this video. They didn't tell me what to say in this review, and they didn't even ask me to post all of those links. I just appreciate the fact that they reached out to me, and even though this review might be a bit mixed, both some positive and not so positive things, I do appreciate them for letting me check these out. So let's get started. So to be honest with you, first impressions of these headphones were not all that great. First and foremost, when I was digging into the Bathys packaging, I was greeted with, of course, you know, this nice case. And we got the headphones inside the case, and there's a 3.5 millimeter cable inside there and a USB-C cable. And then lifting the case out, I noticed this little cardboard shelf right here, and I thought, this is certainly gonna flip up and give me a peek at the rest of the goodies that come with these headphones, or more important, the charger. When I quickly realized that this shelf was not going to lift up and it was glued down, I found myself a little bit confused and went straight to the guides for clarity on included accessories. A, quick start guide. B, case. C, headphones. D, 3.5 millimeter cable. E, USB-C cable. And there we have it. Knowing these are 800 smackaroos and curious what my audience would have to say about this user experience, I obviously fired up that community poll, and I'm gonna leave it at that. Focal, 63%, at least from the last time that I checked it, it might be a little bit different, but 63% of the people that would be buying these headphones would be upset or frustrated that these did not come with a charger. I just wanted to share that with you as some constructive feedback, and I would encourage you to take that under serious consideration. Okay, let's not get out of hand and let's go ahead and move on. Next step, according to the box, download the app. No problem. Installed the app on my iPhone, opened it up, and it alerts me right away of a firmware update. No problem. I'm fine with all that. Selecting the option to connect to the Bathys and cannot connect to the headphones. Try it again. Cannot connect to the headphones. Let me try that again. And again. And again. And after turning the headphones on and off, rebooting my phone, uninstalling and reinstalling the app a number of times, more failed attempts at not finding the headphones, I just about boxed these up and drop-kicked them back to headphones.com. Keeping in mind, this isn't their fault, but I'm now pretty dang annoyed and not feeling all that good about the user experience with these new, what would have cost me $800 headphones that didn't come with a charger and now won't connect to their app so I can update the firmware. Now, I have no idea how I got lucky or what sequence I did to get past this mess, but I'm not exaggerating or blowing smoke when I say it soaked up a solid 15 minutes to get these things to finally connect to the app and update the firmware. Now, let me simmer down for a moment. I'm going to try and be as diplomatic as I can be and professional, but at the same time, I'm going to say with confidence and a small degree of genuine frustration that this was, without question, the worst user experience that I have personally had with any wireless headphone that I have ever reviewed, regardless of price. And if these were purchased by me, they would have been returned before I ever had a chance to listen to them. And that's that. All right, so functionally, I really have zero issues with the button layout or the ergonomics of these headphones. I think they're actually quite comfortable for long listening sessions. The build quality is decent. They're pretty comfortable. There's just a couple of things that stand out. There's parts on these headphones that I think are a little bit plasticky and lesser than what I would expect from high-end hi-fi. Well, I'm not going to bore you with every single feature. The highlights that you need to know is that these are noise-canceling headphones. And I'm going to take it a step further. The active circuit that engages the 3 modes of noise control cannot be disabled when you power up the headphones. Okay? So if you're buying these headphones and you don't necessarily care about noise canceling, this is the first tidbit of information that might help you iron out if these are going to be the best product for the job. Anyhow, connected to the app, you are greeted with a menu which offers EQ, noise canceling, and LED. Pressing on noise canceling, you will see transparent, which allows you to hear ambient noises around you, soft, which is a less aggressive form of noise canceling, and silent, which is a more aggressive reduction, best used for things like plane rides. You guys get the idea. As I mentioned, in the home menu, there is an option to adjust EQ as music is playing, and there is also the ability to disable or change the LEDs on the sides of the headphones. I disabled the LEDs in favor of battery life, and I never bothered changing the EQ because, as luck would have it, these headphones do actually sound pretty good, which we're going to chat about in just a second. One major win with the Bathys is indeed their battery life. Having up to 30 hours on a charge is pretty dang impressive and something that I do want to celebrate. With that being said, I found it rather confusing that even with the supplied 3.5 millimeter cable, an analog cable, these headphones do need to be powered in order to be enjoyed. You have to turn them on in order to play music. I'm laughing because I think it's ridiculous. Honestly, this felt like a missed opportunity for folks who simply want to conserve battery life while at home and don't care about noise canceling or the processed effects. So as I mentioned before, comfort on these is fine. They got little clicky bands. The cups are very deep. I like that. All of the buttons they feel a little bit different, so muscle memory kind of takes over. And so the feature set is fine for the most part, minus that weird decision with the always having to have these on, always active. But hey, it's all about how they sound. So let's talk about that. To my ears, the voicing of Bathys does overall remind me of what I've heard many times in their speakers. Bass and mid-bass is slightly elevated. It's punchy, not at the point of being bloated, but it's certainly punchy. It's certainly elevated. Lower mid-range and male vocals are more about precision than warmth, meaning they can sound a little bit thinner than what you might call neutral and certainly don't sound meaty or robust. For those who want specifics, I would guess that these observations are probably covering the bandwidth between 100 to 300 hertz, where we often hear a little bit more meat on the bones or that cozy campfire sound. Now, what is odd is as we pull away from this region, getting into upper mid-range and above, I get a sense of pretty good detail, but things do tend to poke out a little bit more at times, which might sound a little bit more exciting and even sibilant than some listeners might appreciate. I never enter listening fatigue during my time with these headphones, but I'll be frank, and I have no way of reliably measuring these. There is no way this is a straight line performance throughout the midband, specifically upper mid-range. While the overall curve of these headphones sound to me more like a U shape or maybe a smiley face, again, similar as to what their speakers sound like to me, there must be a couple of bumps in the midband, some peaks and some valleys. And so here's the deal. That part is iffy. Everything above that, the very top end, we're talking about information 10K and above. It sounds pretty detailed, airy, and crisp, and it sounds pretty nice, so I have no complaints in that department. Now, when it comes to these kinds of voicing decisions, whether or not it sounds good is really subjective, but to my ears, the overall voicing of the Bathys headphones aren't an ugly color by any stretch of the imagination. Vibrant, yes. Hawaiian shirt with every shade under the sun while wearing sandals with socks? No. Nothing that offensive. To be specific, the Bathys make music sound pretty fun, analytical and detailed on top, without a lot of the consequences that come with those kinds of voicing decisions. Combine that detail, that analytical fun with slightly elevated bass and mid-bass, and that, my friends, is the recipe for a good time for many audiophiles and music enthusiasts. Soundstage on these headphones isn't anything spectacular or worth chatting about for the next 30 minutes. They are closed-back headphones and designed with a specific purpose and the goal of making things as wide or as deep as possible just doesn't align with the Bathys abilities. The soundstage sounds medium in size, and complex and chaotic mixes can sound a little claustrophobic. So, as the old saying goes, jack of all trades, master of none. While that phrase does apply to many HiFi products, and I've used it from time to time, I feel the need to use it, but to restructure it and the wording of it and tag the Bathys with my overall summation. In the end, with its subjectively fun sound while on the go, the Focal Bathys are a jack of one trade and a master of one. Sure, they gave us a nice sounding headphone for one specific purpose, which is really hard to argue or complain about, but for the rest of us, Focal might have been wise to expand the usability of these headphones to grab the attention of those who aren't on the go all the time, always listening with active noise canceling, and even more, don't happen to have a USB-C charger lying around to spare when the battery on the Bathys dies after 30 hours of fun listening. And with that, I'll see you Focal headphone loving audiophiles in the next video.